Hello, Rhys Lewis, exec chef at Woodstock Inn. Welcome to Home on the Range. Today, we're going to do a venison bolognese. I know you're wondering, you got that venison that somebody gave you, your uncle, your dad, your grandpa, the hunter in the family. You're not quite sure what to do with it. We're going to do a venison bolognese. I got my trusty cast iron pan. Let me review the rest of the ingredients. Diced onion, finely diced carrot. I've got some nice smoky ham cut up. Garlic. I had a little bit of rosemary underneath that garlic. And then for my dry spices, a bit of oregano, bay leaf, and some chili flake. I can always add a little more. Tomato, and I don't have any heavy cream, so I'm going to be using my evaporated milk. The venison meat is going to go down into the pan. I'm going to brown this up, and I'll be right back. I've got the venison meat browned up, probably 5 to 7 minutes. Just want to make sure it's cooked through. I'm going to dump it out. Any liquid, and of course there's very little fat. It's very lean meat. If you don't have venison, that's fine. You can use beef. There's just no fat in it at all. Pork, lamb meat, actually even turkey or chicken would work well for a bolognese. Splash a little olive oil down into the pot. It looks like a lot, but it'll be okay. I'm going to add the onions to it. The carrots are going to go in. Basically all the other ingredients. Let these carrots and onions cook for a little bit. The ham is going to go in. I want the taste of that to come out. I'm actually going to then saute these, season them up a little bit. I didn't season the other with salt, and the ham has a little salt in it, so I want to be careful with salt. A little bit here. I'm going to go in with my dry. I'm going to add the garlic after these sweat a little bit. And probably another 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll be right back. I've got the vegetables sauteed. There's not really a lot of color. Some of that brown that you see comes a little bit from the sweet juices of the ham. So I don't want to burn that. So I want to just make sure that I've stayed with it. Meat returns to the pan. I'm going to add the garlic and the rosemary in. You smell that immediately when that comes in contact with the heat. I'm going to cook this just a bit. Wow, that looks great. Lamb, beef, pork, combination, doesn't quite matter. Chicken, venison, anything can be done like this. And if you want to do a vegetarian bolognese, just use portobello mushrooms instead of the meat. That's a great substitution. Can of diced tomatoes goes in. I'm going to let that come up to a simmer. If I have a little veg stock, you can add that to it or whatever. I am going to add I have a can of tomatoes I used, or some tomato sauce I used. I'm going to add that to it from another dish, and just make sure that I can bring this up to a simmer, let the flavors marry. I have the other ingredients. I have Parmesan cheese to finish, and of course the cream right at the end. What goes best with bolognese? Pasta, world's great comfort food. I'm going to do some fresh pasta, but that's next episode. Come right. But let the bolognese simmer for about 20 minutes. You can see it simmering in the pot. And if you want to continue to do that, it'll reduce. I'm going to add the cream to it, or the milk, the evap milk, and stir that in. You can see the texture changes a bit. And the Parmesan cheese is going to go on at the end. You can use Romano, Pepato, which is a Romano with peppercorns, any of that. This looks terrific. I'm going to, of course, there's enough here for 2. Yeah, Trina and I are going to eat on this for a couple of days anyway.
Always feeding armies around here.
Yeah. I'm going to taste this a little bit. I got to keep in mind one thing, that the pasta noodle itself is going to thin out the flavor. So we're going to dilute it a little bit, so it should be a little more intense. Oh, that is delicious. I'll try that one more time. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Venison bolognese, Woodstock, Vermont. Woodstock Inn, Rhys Lewis. Great to have you at Home on the Range.